This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome in, Paul Catalina. Garrett Ross today. Again, twice for Garrett this week.
Yeah, fancy.
Steven Simcox will be tomorrow. So the Wednesday wheel will actually be on Thursday this week.
Okay.
So, I mean, alliteration is gone. That's it. It's the Thursday wheel this week. Next week, Pierre returns to Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So then Mondays will be recap day, and I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I haven't figured it out. So
there's going to be plenty to talk about.
Yeah, plenty to talk about. We would just put recap as the thing.
That's all you need.
Recap. Today on the show, we're going to talk about who is this week's FSU, like who is opening with a trap game. Because there's multiple. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about that. We're going to take a vote on who should I really want to win between Miami and Florida. Florida State's two bitter rivals. That's
an easy one.
No, okay. Well, here's the thing.
For me and you, it's easy.
I don't know, but see, I don't know.
Dude,
I don't know. I'm talking
on.
about season.
Things have changed after. I get it. Things have changed after
things
Ireland.
have changed.
Okay.
In the past, in 2019 when they played, I rooted for Miami.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, and most of the time I'd root for Miami.
But now.
But I do kind of, now that Florida State sits at 0-1 and 0-1 in the conference, and even though this isn't a conference game, I kind of want Miami to be disappointing.
Yeah.
So that this should have really gone harder after Cam Ward thing doesn't weigh heavy on my shoulders.
No, that makes sense. Also, just the fact that you cannot afford to lose another conference game, and you need, to me, it's what you're looking at: Clemson, Miami, Virginia Tech. Those are about right now who you're looking at being at the top of the league. Yeah, you need some of them. You need Clemson to take some L's and Miami to take some L's. So as hard as it would be for me personally, if I was in your shoes, to watch Florida get that dub, I totally understand where you're coming from by pulling for or wanting Florida to get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. I'm not pulling. I can't pull. There's no pulling.
But it's just
and look, really for the and here's the thing: am I rooting for the ACC? Do I Is that ship left the port? I don't know. I'm very confused as to what I'm supposed to do. And okay, get this. Miami. Yeah. Jack says Miami.
I'm with
Jack. That's the thing. I just want to hear from the chat room, who would you root for in this same situation?
Okay.
Because there's a lot of factors here.
But definitely
there's a lot more factors than there used to be. A lot more factors. So that's why I'm a little confused on what to do.
Well,
so
I don't think the option of rooting for the ACC should be in play, because I'm not a big fan of conference, but I understand it more from the Big 12 people's perspective of wanting to root for the Big 12 against the big evil empires out there. But if you're a Florida State fan or Clemson fan whose team's already kind of pissed all over that conference, what does it matter?
Yeah, I'm not against, I would like to know. I'm personally not against the ACC.
Right.
I'm not enthralled with the way that they've done things. I just wish there's a way for them to fix it and stay together, as opposed to what is inevitably probably going to happen, which is the worst case scenario. Because the best case scenario rarely happens.
No.
In college athletics now. So I don't know if I can just sit there root for the I care about Florida State getting in the 12-team playoff. Mm-hmm. That's what I care about. What is best for that, given that both these teams are on their schedule? One of them is conference game, one of them is not, but the one that's not is at the end of the season and could be very crucial to where they are. Mm-hmm. And depending on how good, Florida could be really bad. They could be mediocre. They could be surprisingly good. I don't think that's going to be that way. I think their schedule is going to eat them up.
I do too.
I don't think they have the kind of talent to withstand it. But here's another little wrench to throw in the machine.
Okay.
Andrew Baker, our friend Andrew Baker, who used to be our producer, Garrett's producing mentor, so to speak.
My mentor.
Yeah.
Mentor.
His mental mentor. That's true. Andrew's
Andrew.
A wild man. Andrew texted me last week and said, would you like to go? I will pay for your ticket if you sit with me and Trey another friend of ours. Trey was here. It was on the show. Trey in the stands for the Texas and Florida game in Austin.
Ooh. Hell yeah.
Dude. Not only do I have no rooting interest in that game,
but it's your two.
I mean, I have never rooted for either of those teams. And if they played in the College World Series a couple years ago, and I was miserable that day. Dude, knowing that whatever happened, I was going to be angry about.
I get that, but at the same time, this is going to be. Has Florida ever came to Texas? Have they ever even played?
No,
dude, you're going to be able to witness something historic. I think just like sitting your personal vitriol to the side and just coming into it as like a blind college football fan looking for an experience, that's going to be elite atmosphere.
I don't think I can make it happen because of our schedule, but I'm still going to think about it. But here's the thing. In the A-hole bowl, which is what I'm going to call it.
That is
that's the A-hole bowl to me. Like, and I understand coming from a Florida State fan right now, like we could easily play in the A-hole bowl. I get it. I get it. But to me, that's the A-hole bowl. That is absolutely the A-hole bowl. And golly, yes, Bracket Cat's right. Florida State would be scared to play UCF this season. Absolutely.
Dude,
if Haynes King can run on them,
KJ Jefferson would destroy them, dude.
I mean, right now, maybe that changes in the coming weeks if they get that figured out. If it's schematic and not like personnel, which I don't think. I think it was a scheme thing, not a Johnny's and Joe's thing.
I would hope so.
But again, those things are also hard. Like that's easier to fix than like be better.
Right.
Be a better athlete than you were. But no, I'm not. But I don't know. Like I've never been to. I've never been to like there's only one baseball team that I can't stand, and it's the Yankees, right? So if I went to a Yankees game and they played the Mets, like I'm indifferent about the Mets,
right?
I don't like. I only care about the teams the Red Sox are playing in the moment.
Yeah.
But if they've played the Indians or the Guardians in the playoffs, I mean, like, I don't
have like a second rival. They don't. I
don't care about the Orioles.
Like it's just the Yankees. They don't.
It's really but I mean, then that's weird because they have like the Blue Jays. Who I don't like maybe it is like if I watch the Yankees and the Rays,
right?
I don't really care for the Rays in the fact that. It's not even the Rays. It's their awful stadium. It's not the players. It's their awful stadium and their fans who half of them are actually Yankee fans. Like they go back and forth between the Yankees and the Rays, depending on which one's better. So like Aaron Judge could hit 70 home runs this year. Guess what? The old dusty Derek Jeter jerseys are coming out of the closet in Tampa. Look, the Yankees play in the better stadium in Tampa, and it's small at Legends Field. It's right down by Raymond James. So like, I don't know. I'm again, like, but I still, when it comes down to it, that's what it is. But college football, like, just growing up in an Aggie household, I'd never had any love lost for Texas at all. I mean, there was none of that. Then like being Florida State, like. Florida and Miami and like Clemson are the three that I care about the most. Not nuts about Georgia Tech or NC State either, but like, you only get to pick three top ones. So as far as A&M goes, like, and again, any team that A&M has played in any of the three conferences they've been in, like I'm indifferent about all of those except for Texas. Like I have no ill will towards Texas Tech or Baylor or TCU or LSU or Bama, like, don't care. Like, it doesn't, like, I'm excited about it. I'm happy for my Aggie people when they win. I'm sad when they lose, but I'm not like, God, I hate Bama.
Right.
Like, I don't like Bama. I'm not a Bama fan, but, like, they don't hurt me.
Yeah, they don't do no harm.
Like they do to you.
Well, you know what? That's for Bama, I don't necessarily hate Bama. I respect Bama. But I hate losing to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was Saban who, that he was there at LSU, and if he would have stayed, that's what bugs me about the whole Bama thing. But I'm not like truly hate them. The only team I really, 'cause the whole time we were talking about this, I was trying to think who would be my second team in a situation like that. Florida's definitely up there. There would be my number one, and it probably would be A&M. Like, I just don't like A&M.
Yeah, okay.
But
again, not the biggest rival though.
Not the biggest rival.
Yeah.
But that would be the one where I would feel very gross like you going to Austin if it was like going to a Florida and A&M game. I would do it just for the atmosphere and everything.
Look, I've done that.
Ugh.
I've done that. And A&M's beaten them. I think they've played 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
A&M is 2-1.
Yeah.
One in the swamp too, which chef's kiss. But the first time I went to see them was Johnny Manziel's first start.
Oh.
And they lost that game, not because of Johnny.
No.
But, like, they lost that game, and I was like, ho, 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 ho. So I didn't even, like, it didn't even occur to me, like, it's the only time I've ever gone to a game where, like, my dad and I and our friend Kyle and my mom were there, and, like, we're driving back to Waco, and, like, and Kyle was like, you mad that the Gators won? I'm like, I'm always mad that the Gators won.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, like, if there was a little sick kid in the street and me and the Gators were racing to give him medicine first, if they got him the medicine first, I'd be like, oh, damn it.
You should be.
I wish he would have been sick for 10 seconds longer. Like that's the kind of feeling it would be like, no, I'll help the puppy.
Right.
You guys stay away.
You stay away. I'm the vet today.
I don't want you to have this glory, even though you're being altruistic.
Right.
I'm altruistic for selfish reasons now, just to make you look bad.
Yes.
That's how it would be. But I remember driving home from that game going like, well, this is going to be a wild year. That dude's something else. Like, that dude is something else. And then I would go late. Like, you know, if Baylor had an early kick, I would go do our thing and then, like, skedaddle. Like, I got to one game, drove in, parked way away, got on the bus and, like, walked in and, like, as the ball was kicking off.
Yeah.
And just to see it again. You know, I went to that game that they played against Oklahoma, and stayed there. Like, it was, drove home at like 12:30 at night, just like, holy cow, that was unbelievable. But I've never been in a game where and it's not just dislike. Like, if I was at Ohio State, Oregon national championship game, I have no, like, I don't really care about Ohio State in that way, but I don't like Urban Meyer, and like Ohio State just is always kind of like, they're just there and they're consistently good. And, so they've kind of annoyed me, but like Urban Meyer, like I was so like, I was like, come on, Mariota, you know, like, let's go, you Hawaiian hero, let's do this, the whole time. Cause I was like, I just don't want to sit there and look at his smug face. So I've never really been in an environment where I've had to sit and watch two teams that I despise. Yeah. Despise. And I mean, it's not like if you're watching this and going, oh, Paul doesn't like the Longhorns, like, where you been? Right. Where you been?
I might be able to throw Notre Dame and Oklahoma into that category as well. I don't really care for either one of those programs, more so than Notre Dame. Like, I really hate Notre Dame.
I have Notre Dame plays both Florida State and A&M this year. And they play A&M this week. They play Florida State later in the year. I'm looking forward to both those games. Growing up Catholic, you can be forced into a difference about Notre Dame. Like right now, since 1988, they haven't hurt anybody.
No.
Like they're not like,
they're just annoying and they get so much. And they beat LSU when they had Fournette. And
here's the thing.
I hated that.
You know why I don't is because the reason college football is as fun, as big as it is due in large parts in Notre Dame. Like, it is. Like, you may not think that Jordan's the greatest. You may think LeBron is the greatest, but there is no LeBron without Michael.
Right.
Yeah. Like, there's
Somebody
no
had to set the standard. Yeah.
Like, without Michael breaking that like athlete barrier. It's the same way with Notre Dame. Like, look, I may not think Notre Dame is the greatest, but like I understand that
you can't have college football
is
without
popular.
Yeah.
Without them. So that, and again, being Catholic, like, I've had enough priests and teachers and people my whole life that you get a letter in the mail from them when you're in high school and they're like, oh, you should go there. Everybody should go to Notre Dame. Go to Notre Dame. And you're like, I don't want to go. And like, it's nothing against them. It's against the state of Indiana. It's cold there.
I like Indiana. I like Indianapolis. That's one.
Yeah. I really did like Indianapolis, but you're like, I had a friend who played baseball there. I I had two other friends from high school, one very close friend. She went there as well. And then another, we had three people from our class go to Notre Dame, which is about the average number, about 3 to 6 every year wind up there. And again, because, they've got feeder schools in every city.
Oh, yeah.
For just students alone. But, you come around. The ironic thing is the guy who played baseball for Notre Dame would have, crawled across broken glass to play for Mike Martin. But
who wouldn't?
But he was from his whole family. His sister went there, his mom, his dad. All went to FSU. And then FSU didn't offer him a scholarship and Notre Dame did. And it's
Hell, I'd do that too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have turned that down
absolutely.
even though I don't like them.
Absolutely. So, I don't know. It's so weird. I've never been in that. So part of me wants to say yes and go, but part of me knows that I'll just be sitting there and there's nowhere I'm going to walk without looking at someone with disdain.
Oh, it would be the probably most obnoxious atmosphere you were ever in. And Andrew would be just,
I know. He would be
poking
buttons
the bear
the whole
nonstop,
time.
dude. Nonstop.
So I was like, I don't know, man. I said, I'll think about it. I said, there just might be too much. It might be too much. Okay, look, here's the thing. Let's just pretend in this metaphor that I'm Batman.
Okay.
Okay? That I am Batman. And I'm sitting there and I come upon the Joker and the Penguin embroiled in a battle.
Just enjoy it.
But am I worried that this is going to lead to worse things? That's what I would think.
Right.
Oh, now there's going to be a crime war. If I don't stop this, there's going to be a crime war. And all my work in Gotham is going to be undone. So now I've got to get in the middle and I've got to fight both of them. And I don't want to do that.
Well, see, I would have taken the opposite approach. I would let them wear each other out. And then whoever's, then you sneak in and save the day after one of them's taking care of the other. I think you just kind of hate watch it, man. You just got to hate watch it.
But can I hate watch it in person or can I hate watch it at home where if I feel myself bubbling up with rage?
Well, being at home, you could easily transition to another game.
That's it. I feel myself bubbling up with rage. I hit previous channel.
Yeah.
You
don't have to mess with the traffic in Austin. That's a dub on its own.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one. I think just for the experience, I might just sacrifice it. But
he said he would buy my ticket and all my booze, which I was like, look, dude.
Oh, dude. He knows.
If you were asking me to come to that game, that bill's getting big.
Yeah, he knows. He knows.
That bill's getting big.
You would have to.
Are you going to pay for the heroin I'm going to buy to come down from the rage?
Oh, my God.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know what I do. I have no idea what I'm going to do. And again, it's not even up to me either.
Right.
Not even up to me whether I get to go or not. I've got to file the permission slip.
Do you know what week that is? Do you know if that's later on? Because at that point, Florida could already be. They could either be the biggest surprise story of the year or just things going off the rails at that point. So that would be intriguing to kind of see.
It's November 9th.
November 9th. So, that's one where who knows what Florida is at that point.
Oh, I think that's also the day of the Florida State Notre Dame game.
Oh, well, then no.
Yeah, I can't go.
You can't.
I can't go. If I'm going to go to a game, I'm going to get on a plane and go to South Bend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can't. So,
Well, see, there's your out.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Golly. Well, okay. In the next segment, we're going to talk about who is this week's Florida State. Which team opens with a trap game? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to disparage Georgia Tech by saying they're a trap game, but that is not foreign country, team on the rise, a team you never play all that great against historically. After a 13-0 year, your fans and your administration have been squawking about a bunch of things. You've played a victim for a very long time. The world is against FSU now.
Oh, yeah.
The world's against it. It's us versus everybody. And I don't care that it is. I do, like I said on Monday, I do think, you know, like you can make fun of me in the moment, but like if you're like, I don't know, a Mizzou fan or something, like.
I haven't said nothing to you because I'm nervous.
But you know how it is, though. But you know how, like, like LSU and FSU are kind of the same historically, right? We're on the same level. You know, same amount of national championships, Heisman Trophy winner, things like that. Like, but like if a Mizzou fan is talking trash to me, I'm like, dude, I understand that like you're enjoying this in the moment, but your team has never done anything that would compare to this.
Right.
So think about that before you talk noise. Like in the moment, sure, make fun of me all you want. But your team left a conference too.
They did. They've had like I'm going in on
your team left a conference too. I mean, you know, so just pointing those things out. You know, that I say, and I'm picking out one guy who's a Mizzou fan who's like picking on me, and I was like, but again, like you know, there by the grace of God, anything. That's the thing is when you're going to make fun of a fan that's of different fan base,
right?
It's fine. We all do it, but do consider that like, what would I give for their pain?
Correct.
What would I trade to be experiencing this pain right now? The sad parts of it. You would trade a lot to experience the sad parts of this because you've never experienced the happy parts. You'll trade this harder pain for the higher highs. I promise you that.
Oh yeah.
I promise you that. I had somebody text me and said, I will never vote. Like, I wouldn't change political parties for any reason. And I was like, dude, yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
Real awesome daddies.
I said, you have no idea. I said,
it's addicting.
I said, you have no idea how this feels. Like, I know more just based on the fact that I happen to be fans of, like, some teams that have won a lot. I said, you have no idea how it feels.
Dude, like, look, LSU went – the team in 2019 was so unreal. And then, like, last year, you were 10-3, which most people would die for, and it felt miserable. It felt miserable because the bar was set so high. So I totally get where you're coming from.
Yeah. Conundrum said SEC rejected FSU. They did not reject Mizzou. Correction. FSU has never applied to the SEC before. The SEC offered them, and FSU told them no because Bobby Bowden said no. Like, it never even got there. Like, Bobby Bowden said no. So, technically, Bobby Bowden rejected the SEC because it probably would have happened if they pushed it all through. Believe me, like, you see how the SEC works. Like, Florida can say, like, oh, we kept them out. Like, okay. Like, no. Like, if they're like, oh, no, money.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. Please. LSU and Arkansas have been rivals since before.
Yeah.
Like, when it SEC. You think LSU was like, when Arkansas wanted to come in, that they were like, because Arkansas was good.
No, they were good back then, yeah.
Back then.
And LSU was not.
Do you think LSU was like, oh, no, let's bring him in?
No, they were pissed.
Yeah, they were pissed. And guess what the SEC said? Not
Don't
about
care.
you, bud.
Do not care.
It's not about the me. It's about the we.
Yep.
So, again, I will correct you on that. The SEC has yet to reject Florida State. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen.
Yet.
If they do, then, you know, let's put that joke on layaway. Let's put that joke on layaway. It's fine. You can keep it on layaway. You can pay it down. Go ahead. I'll make it with you.
Yeah.
I'll make it with you because it'll be even funny to me that, like,
it would be.
You do all this for the
laugh my
specific
ass off.
purpose. You talk all this noise about getting the SEC or, like, being there and being on the level, and then you're like, hey, can we come in? They're like, no. Well, what about TV value? Yeah, we have so much money. We
already got the Florida market.
we have so much money. Like, you know, we're good at, like, I do think that there's a world where Greg Sankey's like, we're just good at 16. Like, until we start.
I hope so.
But here's the thing.
I really do hope so.
Until they start kicking out teams to bring, like, bigger brands in, I think Greg Sankey is the one to be like, yeah, 16's a manageable number.
But I mean, they have everything they need. They have all the brands they technically need. They have the closest thing we have to true regionality left. Like, there's nobody I think that they could go out and, like, look, I mean, it would be nice to have Florida State or Clemson, but it's not necessary. Like, they would just be icing on top of the cake. You don't need them to be relevant.
Yeah.
So they're in just a different spot than any other really, even in the Big Ten. Yeah. They're kind of on their own, them and Notre Dame.
Yeah. Oh, Bracket Cat says, I just want one national championship so KU can shut up about it. Yeah. No, I mean, like,
y'all been close.
Okay,
I mean,
that's not even the best part of it. Like, that's not like, that's a nice little, that's like an after dinner drink to it. That, like, now your rival can't be like, well, we have one and you don't. the best part about it is like knowing like, oh, it's just the adrenaline in your veins.
So I have a question for
I feel
Bracket.
like I'm trying to get somebody to try ecstasy for the first time.
So would Bracket Cat rather have that in football, or would he rather have Tang win one in basketball given the success for Kansas in basketball? Like, or where's he at on that one?
Yeah.
That's what I need to know here.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, who is this week's FSU in the next segment? This is the triple option on 365 Sports.
Fantasy Sports EVO, the next evolution of daily fantasy sports. Tired of traditional fantasy sports where you spend hours upon hours studying individual players? EVO's unique team-based platform makes it easier than ever for all sports fans to play. No need to know individual players. Just choose your contest, select your teams, and enjoy the game. Whether you access our website from a desktop, mobile device, or the app, the experience is the same. EVO is for all sports fans. Join Fantasy Sports EVO and experience the evolution.
This is 365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back. Paul Catalina and Ross here on the Triple Option. And who is this week's team that is going? Like, I'm going to throw out several.
Okay.
But Kyle Visser said, I hope it's Penn State.
Oh,
Let's
me
just
too,
get that
dude.
one out of the
I do too.
That one kind of fits that mold, right? So, while it's not in Ireland, you're not going to be in friendly territory. If there's a place that, I mean, obviously not size-wise, but enthusiasm-wise.
Oh, they match it.
Can match that enthusiasm at any time of day. Like, it doesn't need to be not like, say what you will about Death Valley, Garrett. Like, the enthusiasm for a noon kick and the enthusiasm for a night kick are different.
It's totally
things.
different.
But Penn State and West Virginia are kind of like noon, 7 o'clock, 3:30. Don't care. Like 4 a.m. We're here for this. We're here for this. LSU, I think partly it's just Cajun food takes a while to cook.
Well, yeah, that they need to get liquored up and everything. Yeah.
So they've got a whole process.
Yeah.
Like they, starting at 10 a.m., and then on through kickoff. I mean, you ever walk through that tailgate area? And
I never have.
Oh my gosh.
I need to.
Okay. They'll like you.
Oh,
I mean,
hope
like,
so.
But the thing is that like some of the people are like insanely nice, but then like it gets a little scary.
Well, see, my only experience, like full disclosure, my only time ever seeing LSU play was the Texas Bowl, which was a complete disaster when K-State just obliterated them.
Yeah.
And the fans, I went with a group of, my real dad has some friends from Louisiana, and we went with them, and then I got to meet some other people that were at the game, and it was pretty cool. Everybody enjoyed it, but I need to get down there to actually fully immerse myself in it.
Oh no, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. You definitely need to get to one. Look, you haven't been to LSU. Smokey hasn't been to Nebraska. We're gonna fix all.
We got to fix that.
Listen, my goal is to fix all this.
Like I've been there, but just not to a game.
Yeah. I mean, Emory and Jack are Baylor alums, so they've gotten to like.
Well, Jack,
see.
he's lived my dream over there.
Yeah. Well, maybe not now.
No, but he did. He got to go down
Here's
there.
the thing, that November 9th, that's also the day that Baylor plays Arkansas in Dallas.
I know.
I mean, they're like.
There's a lot going on that day.
Yeah. Or I may go nowhere, and I may sit in here and put different things on every television.
You know what? I know I'm about to derail us, but I felt so weird watching the games on Saturday because I watched every one of them with you last year. So I'm just sitting by myself like, what the hell is this?
And that's like this year, our pregame show is 9 to 10:30 every week, which we love.
Oh,
we love. It's the same, but there's going to be some days where we have to do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm down for that. But it did feel weird. I was like, man, this does not feel the same.
Yeah, absolutely. So but I do wonder, okay, who is this week's? And I think if you look at the things, measurables, Virginia Tech, a team on the rise.
Yep.
Against a legacy team, right? This is now a non-conference game, but this game can mean so much to the long-term future of West Virginia that, man, and that's why I picked them. I'm absolutely all for it.
I'm taking West Virginia too.
I picked them.
See. Well, I know like they'll have pushback because the game was close, and then Penn State blew it open last year. Penn State also, to me, had the more experienced team at the time. They had the home field advantage, and I just think that I don't know how much more Drew Aller could truly progress. I kind of feel like we know who he is, whereas Garrett Green still had room to improve through this passing game, and you have the weapons around him. They're so old, too. I just feel like this is one where, and Neil Brown's come out with a disrespect. The West Virginia fans are feeling it. You have arguably one of your most famous alums coming back with McAfee doing his show there. You have Big Noon. There's so much there, and it's the opportunity for the Big 12 to get that signature win over the Big 10. Like, there's a lot on the line for West Virginia, and I just don't see them letting this slip through their hands. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I think it's huge. I think it's absolutely huge. And these are the games also that had gotten James Franklin in his career.
Yes,
but yeah, this is gonna be this is the game I'm looking forward to the most this week.
Oh yeah,
and even more than Clemson and Georgia, which I'll be flipping back and forth.
I'll tell you, I'm looking forward to it more than LSU USC. Straight, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you who else needs to be a little bit wary of who they're playing is. Hold on, I had it here.
Colorado
for sure.
Oklahoma State.
Colorado, Oklahoma State. I'm not going to pick the other teams to win, but they got to be on the lookout. But golly, I lost them. I totally lost them.
So you have right here. You got
I can't believe I went past it. Virginia Tech. And here's what they're playing at Vanderbilt. I know that there's nothing but disrespect for Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt went and got Diego Pavia at quarterback, who led New Mexico to a huge season last year. Now he's gone, and they're a wreck. Was Diego Pavia, was he the one who peed on the...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So again, this guy's not afraid. He's fearless. And they haven't had a guy like this. And when you have a quarterback who plays like Diego Pavia, I have a feeling this one might be a little bit closer than Virginia Tech wants. So I would say that Virginia Tech needs to be on the lookout because they feel like they're in the same spot as Georgia Tech, where they've got a quarterback they love, and they're going up here. They're on the rise. But Vanderbilt and Clark Lee is a good he's
a
also
good coach.
He's in the same Neil Brown chip on your shoulder mode. And so I do think that early on. Not that their stadium in Nashville is this overwhelming home field advantage.
And they're not doing renovation. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So but I do think that road game starting out, a team that nobody really knows anything about, that all of a sudden has a quarterback that,
Well, we saw that with Nevada. Nevada was able to push the way they were because you had a better quarterback coming in, and you had Savion Red at your running back position. So you're right. I mean, if you get the right quarterback in there, especially somebody that can be elusive, and they're probably going to have to be at Vanderbilt because that's the one SEC school who pound for pound can't match in the trenches like all the others do. They're going to have guys up there, but they're not going to have the depth. He can run around and make some plays, but I just feel like Virginia Tech as a whole they're going to make that next step and build off of what they've done the past couple of years. And I really, really like Kyron Drones in that system. So it could be closer than expected, but that's one where I think the Hokies should probably win by about 10 points at least.
Now we can play this trap. We might play the trap game every week.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And as it goes in through the season, we'll do that. I mean, Miami and Florida. Miami is probably going to this thing. Their fans are thinking well, this is the best time we've ever had to play Florida. We're the first game of their really hard schedule, but classically Miami doesn't win in the Swamp. Most people don't.
No,
it's a tough place to play. Even when Florida sucks out loud like they did last year, it was tough to win.
Oh, it's hard to go in there. Yeah.
It's hard to win there. And they might suck out loud again and have to get a new coach. But
I wouldn't want to go in there if I'm Miami because like the first game because it's not only is it a rivalry.
I'd rather have my like little flipper. Like,
yeah.
Here's the other thing: Miami plays USF this year. Florida plays UCF.
Both of them.
Those are
better be
huge
careful.
games for both those other teams.
I think UCF
like
beats Florida straight up.
Like the trap games those weeks. You know, USF's good.
They are.
USF has a good quarterback, and
I just like if you're Miami and you're going into the swamp, and I know Cam Ward is a great quarterback. He has never played in an atmosphere like that.
Nope.
I know he's played on some decent sized stages with Incarnate Word winning the championships and everything, but it's totally different, dude.
At Wazoo, I would compare it like Oregon.
Like Oregon, maybe.
Oregon, maybe the Coliseum when it's totally lit.
But that was.
But even still, like no. And
I
then,
think
look, it's different.
yeah, Oregon would be the only close one.
It's different. Here's the other thing: is that even the ACC has better atmospheres than the Pac-12 does classically. Now Utah's great. Rice Eccles is great.
Oh hell yeah.
Boulder can be, but I mean, forever it wasn't. Arizona's new to this. Arizona State's new to it. Like as far as they've had good atmospheres in the past, but currently Arizona's probably back up. Arizona State's probably not all that.
They're finding themselves
right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like you think about the places he's played. Washington, that's a tough place, but that's probably the one.
I would say they're in Oregon.
Yeah. Washington, Oregon's a place he's played that would be like that, but this is different.
Well, it is, and also you got to think like Florida. Napier has so much pressure. Like, do you really want to go in there with him having so much on the line and like those players fighting for his job on the first? I don't know, man.
I mean, it's going to be tougher than I think a lot of people realize. Here's another thing I'll point out. Miami, part of the reason Miami has lost its identity over the last 20 years is they don't really have a home field advantage where they play. It is not their stadium. They're playing in the Dolphin Stadium. And the Orange Bowl, even though Miami sports fans are as fickle as anybody. Miami, LA,
yes,
same.
Yep.
Like Chicago looks at them like, listen, no, we spit on you and your disrespect for your own teams. Cubs fans will go to a game for any reason. Marlins fans are like, I heard that Mark Anthony's going to be there tonight.
I might show up for that.
Is Fat Joe here? Like those kind of things. But they don't have that home field advantage.
No.
And so everywhere they go is potentially a tougher place to play than the place that they already play.
That's a good point.
And so because they don't, they don't have this great home field advantage like most do. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be an interesting story to follow as Miami goes through the year. Can this Miami team, which is super talented, bring back a home field advantage to a place that they've never had a home field, bring a home field advantage to a place they've never had one? Now, they've won, not that they haven't won games there, but you would not compare Hard Rock Stadium to any of the venues in college when it comes to intimidating atmospheres. Hard Rock Stadium's not even tough for the Dolphins opponents to play
at all.
in. All right, so, and that's their stadium. So outside of, there's no, there is no atmosphere.
But does Miami, is Miami one of those places where just winning is going to get people to come in, or does it have to be a show?
It's got to be a show.
Like, you need Cam Ward to go out there and, have a Heisman campaign.
That's why he was important.
Martinez to...
That's why it was important to get stars in there.
Because they haven't... That's what they've been missing.
Because when you think about the great Miami teams, it is stars.
Yeah.
Any sport in Miami. The Heat were popular, right? Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh are all together, and then it's the hottest game in town. The two times the Marlins have won the World Series, they've been loaded with some of the best players in baseball, and then they sold them off, so they could get their World Series. Traded them all off and rebuilt. The Dolphins, their peak time was the Marino years. Yep. They haven't got back to it since then because they haven't had anybody on that level since him. Mm-hmm. Tua's good. He ain't Marino good.
No, he's not.
and maybe one day he is. Like, maybe he wins Super Bowls, which they haven't done since before Marino. But yeah, I mean that's how it looked. The Panthers this year, like, that was a huge deal, right?
Yeah,
huge deal. The Panthers had a great season, but most years, like, if you and I were in Miami and we saw, oh hey, Panthers and Predators are playing tonight, you want to go? Yeah, we could sit 20 rows up from the ice, for reasonable, like,
Yeah, and they had. Kachuk was a star, so you have a star.
Yeah, they've got Kachuk again. Changes everything, right? Changes everything. And that's kind of how it goes there. So, outside of this, before we talk about our last topic, which is not sports related at all, I'm curious on your perspective on it.
Okay.
Which is we'll talk about it in a second. I do want to say the two best games I can't wait to watch this week, outside of the ones I said, are Clemson and Georgia. I'm very curious to see that. And Notre Dame and A&M.
That's the.
It could be a statement game for both teams. At Kyle Field too, like that's. Mike Elko. Like, Mike Elko opens up against his old quarterback.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Elko being the defensive genius, knowing every quirk and flaw in Riley Leonard's game. I know the Irish have addressed their playmaking abilities on the outside, but to what extent? And if you have a guy go down, do you have the depth at your playmaker position to counter that? I don't think they do. Nick Scorton coming in for A&M on the defensive line, like, that's big. That's going to be a thing. It's like, is Riley Leonard going to be running for his life all night long? Because I don't know, with Notre Dame already losing their best offensive lineman for the year, I don't think they can hold up 4 quarters against that defensive, really the front 7 of A&M, if you get Torian York blitzing as well. So but if you're looking at quarterbacks, I would take Leonard over Wegman, but I think the A&M does get this done, but it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. I can't wait to watch it. Can't wait to watch it. I need to get my wife as enthusiastic about. She loves sports. She loves sports, but she's also not the person who can, like, lock in and watch 11 games like I can.
Oh no. Look, I'm 18 years into this. It's probably never going to happen.
No, but she likes sports. She loves sports. She's a sports family. Now, the Olympics, she can do that. I think this is the variety, but, like, watching the same sport over and over and over again, like, even March Madness, which she loves, she, like, takes a little bit of a break.
Right.
As where you and I.
Dude, I did not leave my couch. I was, like, every time a game went in, or I was hunting. I was constantly I watched every game.
Yeah.
Except I missed the FAMU and Florida A&M and Norfolk one. I didn't get that because I was watching the game that was on CBS Sports Network, and I didn't want to go back.
Strike Rattlers.
There you go.
Tallahassee Pride. There.
Tallahassee Pride.
That's
I
right.
like it.
That's right. Love those Rattlers. Man, I root for them and everything. Like, I really want, like, I don't know. I just knew so many nice people that were over there, and their uniforms are so ugly.
They are. That color scheme.
That color scheme is so ugly. But they're so, like, that. Now that the band's through all their, controversy, and they've kind of rooted that stuff out. It's great to see them. I did go to Florida A&M Bethune-Cookman.
Ooh.
I was at a friend that was playing for Bethune-Cookman, and that was one of the best football games I've ever been to in my life. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
And that was, a long time ago. And they don't like each other.
Oh, I bet not.
Yeah. Florida A&M does not like Bethune or Cookman. Not at all. Bethune and Cookman don't like Florida A&M either. When we come back, murder documentaries. Should I be worried that my wife and I are watching a lot of them lately? This is 365 Sports.
365 Sports, powered by Sikkim365.com. Welcome to the Triple Option. Here's your host, Paul Catalina.
Welcome back, Paul Catalina, Garrett Ross. Last segment of the show. We've talked. I think we maybe need to do it this way. Flip the small talk to the end.
Yeah, get ball, talk
Talk ball, and then get
small talk.
Things. And I reserve the right for tangents.
Yeah.
It's what I do.
Yeah.
It's my milieu. My true art form. Emery taught me that word. He's very classy. Emery's a classy guy.
He is a classy guy.
Emery walks in and he'll walk into a restaurant and says, "I'll have a Cabernet as long as it's not an 86." Don't listen. If you bring me that swill from 1986, I will spit it in your face.
Yes. You need to bring the stats back.
I will take your little sommelier cup and I will strangle you. Yeah. Class all the way.
Class all the way.
Absolutely. Class all the way. So I might have some big news.
Ooh. What happened?
They're filming our helmet tomorrow.
Oh,
our custom helmet.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he just called. They just called, and I had to send him a voicemail. So I'm going to call him back as soon as we're done with the top fives after the show. And I anyway. So we watched. My wife and I really liked. I like any most documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
Nature documentaries. I love
David Attenborough.
I love a good David Attenborough. The howling monkeys
Love David Attenborough.
live in the high parts of the trees. They come down lower to hunt. Those. As we cross the plains of the Serengeti.
Oh, I'm gonna miss it when he's gone. Like an AI him now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I love it. I love them. Any kind of ocean too, like anything in the ocean, love it. She doesn't. I think she likes to watch those with me because if you've seen how I am around the dogs we have on the show, I'm a bit of an animal lover too much, and I'll see something like a baby tiger or like a little gorilla and be like, "Oh, could I be friends with him?" And she's like, "No, stop. We can't have a gorilla." I'm like, "Okay."
I mean, it's legal to get a tiger in Texas.
Yeah.
Just
I don't want
saying.
to I trust a gorilla a little bit more.
I don't know, man. I'm scared to hell of gorillas.
There's a thing called Chimp King or something like Chimp Lady or something like that on HBO.
Where she got her face ripped off?
Yeah,
yeah, my daughter watched that.
Oh, okay.
Ugh.
Yeah. Well, chimps are scary. Chimps are scary. So but we're watching a lot of murder documentaries, and there's a lot of really good ones. HBO has a lot of good ones. Netflix. So we watched, and there's two different competing, and they do this all the time. There's two different competing docuseries, one on Peacock and one on Netflix about Scott and Lacey Peterson.
Okay.
So she picked the Netflix one first. It was really well done, and went through the whole thing and goes through details that I didn't know. It's been 20 years, so I kind of put it to the back of my mind. Yeah. But she really does like watching these, and I'm not sure if she's taking notes to make sure that oh, this is the signs to look for, or oh, this is where this guy messed up.
See, all right, so my daughter's obsessed with these things, and her philosophy on it is it's entertaining, and she feels like she's picked up the tendency so much that she uses it as a defense mechanism. She watches all the signs where she thinks she could pick out a serial killer and avoid being killed. That's her hope.
I mean, good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
We'll see.
I mean, I don't look at it that way. I'm just interested in the story of it and the legality of it. And I think we got into this because she had never seen Making a Murderer. So I went back and we watched Making a Murderer, which I still don't know how to completely feel about.
Is that the one where the guy
it takes place in
the trash
Wisconsin.
can? Yeah.
And then his nephew, who is technically not special needs, but just above the line. The police got him to confess without his parents or a lawyer there, and he's been stuck in jail, and it just didn't seem none of it seems right, and it doesn't seem like they didn't prove anything.
Right.
They just kind of threw out a bunch of it was all very circumstantial, and then I don't know. I don't know. But we watch them. She really does like, I don't know, like, and there's tons. There's tons.
Oh, yeah. What is the one? It's like the series on TLC or something. How to Get Away, or where the women have killed all the husbands. Do you know what that one? I can't remember the name of that one. But my wife used to watch that one, and that one did kind of have me nervous for a bit.
Yeah,
I thought I was gonna get murked.
Yeah, no, I mean like, yeah. Then there was one. There was a really good one about a lady. Like, they thought like this lady was like really kidnapped, and they thought her husband murdered her. Mm-hmm. And it turns out she was like really kidnapped.
Right.
And they like took them forever to figure out how it happened because, all this that went down. Yeah, it was wild. It's wild. But yeah, there's a lot. Barry Crawford says flipping it is what the other triple option does. So no, I'm not going to do that because this is the one true triple option. I'm so mad about this.
I kind of forgot about it till now.
I'm never going to forget about it.
I know you're not.
You know what? Here's the thing. I had the common decency before we named this show to
We went through a bunch of names.
We went through a bunch of names. And then when we whittled it down, I went to Google. You hear this, Fox? I went to Google, and I put in the triple option college football podcast. Was there one?
Nope.
No. Did Fox, so one of two things happened. Either Fox Sports did that and said, F this guy, or they didn't do it. Either way, wrong.
Yep.
Discourteous and wrong.
Something we would expect from ESPN, not Fox. Come on now.
No, I expect it from
I
Fox.
expect it too. You get Urban Meyer up there, I expect it.
I mean, and then, not only that, they put on a guy on that podcast that's like my mortal enemy. I mean, he's not really, but I don't like the guy. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like. Thanks.
That's probably from all the trash you talk about Oklahoma State. He's just getting his revenge.
Urban Meyer's triple option is registered according to Conundrum. So, yeah, and then this channel is 365 Sports and not the triple option presented by Paul. Okay, thank you for all this help. But again, I was here first.
Yep.
There's no denying this. I was here first. I was first.
Yep.
There's, But I looked up triple option. The phrase is not, but Urban Meyer's triple option. Is that the name of the podcast?
I have no idea. I never even knew it existed until somebody said something.
Hold on. Let's do a
on the fly searching.
All right, Urban Meyer podcast.
How's it looking?
Hold on.
See, this almost feels like the Texas-Florida thing again.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, it's called the triple option.
That's what this one's called.
Exactly. And I get that there's 3 people on it, and that makes sense. And that's it. Listen, I'll tell you, I know it's a great name for a college football podcast. You know why I know it's a great name? Because it's the name of this fucking podcast. And yes, I'm sorry about the F-bomb, but honestly,
it was warranted.
I mean, I'm really mad. No, I don't want you to go watch it. I don't want you guys to go watch it. Don't do that. We're boycotting. We're in this together.
Yeah.
You're either with me or you're against me. You're a real triple option fan or you're a fake one.
Good God.
Clint, don't help them. Don't help them find it.
He's going to.
Gosh. I mean,
maybe they'll put it on Comcast and nobody can watch it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. I'm in the right.
You are?
I'm the hero. He's the villain.
We're in a time where the villains
I'm sorry that Mark Ingram is caught up in all this.
I know.
But, golly. I hope my mother-in-law didn't see that.
Are you going to get in trouble?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, that's a good idea, Conundrum. Original triple option T-shirts. Look, I'm going to get that. That's in the pipeline.
Yep.
The original, the one true triple option. Yeah.
Get like a big picture of you on the back, like those ones Q had made.
Yeah.
Put them in like you at the Urban Meyer in a chokehold or something.
Yeah.
I used to have a shirt like that. Bart Simpson choking Saddam Hussein.
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah. I don't know the licensing, but God, it just makes me so mad. And like, clearly, like, this isn't like, I'm not putting this on. This is not Paul the character. This is Paul the Paul.
This is piss Paul.
This is true me. Enraged.
Oh, love it.
God, I'm really glad you can drop the F-bomb without things here, because if we've been radio,
Oh, yeah.
I'd have been suspended. I said, here, you know what? Smokey loves this story. He thinks it's hilarious. I think it's funny with perspective.
Okay. I'm interested.
So Smokey said a-hole on the air one time.
Yep.
A year after, and they called a caller it. Like, you're just being an a-hole. Like, he didn't say, he said asshole.
Of course
on the
he
air,
did.
which is a word you cannot say on the radio. Okay? A couple years earlier, we were at the Cotton Bowl, and we were doing our show at the Gaylord Texan. And Brooke Williamson, who at the time was a sideline reporter for ESPN and SMU and all that, was sitting next to us. She'd come. We invited her to the show, and she was like, you know, like taking notes and things. She'd just gotten out of school. She'd just gotten this job. And she had reached out to us and said, like, hey, can I come and take notes and things? We're like, absolutely. You always do that. And so Brooke is there this whole time. And Brooke is also very attractive. I mean, so like you would like,
yeah.
She, you know, when she enters a room,
yeah.
Like, so I'm not trying to like, she's really smart and really good at what she does. I'm not trying to like reduce it to that, but like, you know, so, you know, young blonde, you know, girl taking notes, like literally the notepad for an hour. And I've been talking to her and like, he's been all distracted. And then he looks up and he goes, oh, Brooke's here. I'm like, an hour ago,
She's
man.
been here.
An hour. And I said, man, that ADHD is a real bastard. That's what I said, which is true.
Yep.
A salesman at our company heard it.
The one.
Yeah.
The one.
Told our owner.
Of course he did.
And I was suspended for the rest of the Cotton Bowl.
What?
I had to just go and do locker room stuff.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. And then Smokey did what he did. And again, I wasn't going to rat him out, like, you know, but he felt bad. So he went to Gary. He's like, hey, just in case this happens. Gary's like, I don't care.
Of course.
And I was like, and so I'm standing there. I'm like, I mean, I don't want him to get, but hello, could I get an I'm sorry?
No, never. That doesn't.
What?
That phrase does not exist.
My word you can say. My word you can say. I should have saved the text chain between me and that salesman where it's like, do you think that's not a dirty word? I'm like, I mean, it's not. Like, you know, what is the name of it? Like, it's not. Like, so he's like, well, you can't. I mean, we have a client that's mad. I'm like, okay, well, tell him. I'll call him and say I'm sorry.
Boo-hoo.
Well, no, you can't. Like, you can't be on the air. And that's
Man.
also when our relationship had finished the
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would have.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Conundrum says Paul Unchained. Absolutely.
Paul
I am unchained. I am unchained. I'm not unhinged yet, but I'm almost there.
Yep.
I'm almost there. Today on the show, we've got Eli Letterman.
Yep.
We've got Todd Whitten from Charlton State. We've got Taylor McCarg. We have
Brian Driscoll from
Brian
Irish
Driscoll.
Breakdown.
Yeah, he's going to talk about the Irish as they go to play Notre Dame. We also have the top five. We're going to go through our pods of the Big 12 today. So pod 2 today would be Kansas State, Iowa State, and West Virginia.
I believe so.
Yeah. So that's the 4 schools are going to do that at 5 o'clock-ish around there. And then, of course, top 5. So, which is going to conclude the team. I think you're going to be excited to see it. Everybody, like the coaching staff that I've put together.
Okay.
Really good.
I hope so.
Really good. Really good. You'd want this coaching staff. That's going to do it for us. See you guys in an hour.